What's up, guys? Oh, what's going on here? Look like your typical anime villain. We'll just brush it back. There we go. Just brush it back. Yeah, our trouble's fixed. Alright, what's up, you guys? So I've posted all on my social media. So I posted on Instagram, I posted here on the community tab, and I've been trying to get input about what content you guys want to see that's not CF related. You've given me a ton of stuff, and all of you have voted for the 18 plus story time. And if you follow my Twitter or my Instagram, you probably get a good idea of what the 18 plus story time would consist of. But basically it's going to be me telling stories of my crazy misadventures back in my days of fiction and sex and drugs. Because while I don't condone what I was doing at the time, there's some hilarious stories that came out of those days, and may as well make a joke out of it now. But then one of you asked me, tell us a story about the coolest experience you've ever had. Enter. Yeah. I know he'll answer that. And so I started going through my head of all these experiences I've had, and I've had a lot of really rad experiences in my life. You know, mountain climbing, meeting people. I've been very blessed and fortunate to, you know, get to experience a lot of really rad things. And there's a couple that come to mind. But one of those stories is actually something you guys have asked for in the live stream. I've posted about it on like my Instagram and Twitter in like kind of short posts. But you guys have wanted to know the story about the guitar that I was given by Tom Morello from Rage Against the Machine. Now, a lot of you guys have seen me play this bad boy while waiting on matches while I'm streaming my video games.
Holy shit, you're a nerd.
Nobody calls me a nerd.
Why is that blacked out? Because a lot of you haven't seen it, and that's how I'm gonna keep you here. YouTube tactics. Don't you want to hear the story anyways? It's probably one of the coolest stories that I have, and one of the coolest things to ever happen to me. So, without further ado, let's get started. It's 2011. I have wanted to go to Comic-Con for years. Especially San Diego Comic-Con. That's the mecca. Little did I know that by that time it had basically turned into this pop culture thing and less about comics and nerd stuff than just stuff that's cool right now. Where we won't get into that. This is about the story. So my cousin kept hyping me up. He's like, dude, Comic-Con, let's do it. Let's go. Let's do it. Let's go. Tickets, hotels, basically everything with Comic-Con, if you've never been, is basically this giant lottery. So at X time, you log on to this website and you basically just hope and pray that you get a ticket. Lo and behold, some way, somehow, planets align for everything. We got 4-day tickets, we got the hotel we wanted, I had money set back, so I got the plane ticket, everything worked out. In July 2011, me and my cousin set off from North Carolina to wonderful San Diego, California. It's also where I found my love of San Diego and just California. For once, I was like, man, I'm home. I'm not surrounded by a bunch of racist rednecks. It's wonderful. But anyways, back to the story. It's me, my cousin, we were there, like we were hyped. A lot of people on the plane were going to Comic-Con. I had a Darth Vader mask that they somehow let me bring in my check bag. Don't know how. Put the Darth Vader mask on the plane. I'm surprised we didn't get kicked off, but I had everybody laughing. And then the flight attendant started giving out everyone airplane bottles of Jack Daniels. They're just like, here you go. Didn't charge us. This was like turning out to be the most epic vacation and experience ever so far. Just to give a little backstory, my cousin has a friend whose mom, man, that totally sounds like a made-up story, but I promise it isn't. My cousin's friend's mom works for Todd McFarlane, and my cousin is probably one of the biggest Spawn fans ever. He had worked car conventions and got to wear like the Spawn suit, so he was kind of in with some people in the industry, which I knew, but I didn't know that they really had anything planned. We're on the plane, we're drinking, checked in at the hotel, everyone's having an awesome time. We go check out preview night, everything's good. We go to bed pretty early because we're ready for the first real day of Comic-Con, the craziness. Fast forward to the next morning, my cousin wakes me up. Dude, wake up, first day of Comic-Con. Time to go see awesome costumes, see all the awesome things. It's time. By the way, at like 2 o'clock, you're interviewing Tom Morello for Nerdist News. And I'm just laying there like, huh? And all throughout my teenage years, I was a musician. I had to stop playing music. North Carolina didn't have a smoking ban in effect. So you could smoke in bars, clubs, and whatever. So literally, if I played a show with my band, I would be in the hospital within a week from inhaling so much cigarette smoke while you're on stage. So I would literally have to choose my health or getting to play a show. And so I never got to play that many shows whenever I was playing music, but I had always kind of been picking guitar up on and off, you know, all throughout my teenage years and throughout my life. I've always listened to everything, but especially during my teenage years, I gravitated towards rock, metal. I'd also gotten my cousin really into Rage Against the Machine. And he talked to his friend's mom, somehow convinced Nerdist News to let me interview Tom Morello because he was going to be at Comic-Con promoting his new comic, Orchid. How that is, because you know, this was his unveiling. He was debuting his new comic and Nerdist was going to talk to him about it. It was a big deal, and they're just like, you're going to let this random guy do it. This guy over here, he gets to do it. I don't know exactly how they made it happen, but I imagine it went something like this. Hey, Craig. Hey, what's up, Jimmy? Listen to this email I just got. Some lady's asking us if some kid can interview Tom Morello at Comic-Con. What a crock of shit. It's ridiculous. Why would we ever do? Hey, Craig. He's got some sort of syphilis, fibrosis. I think he may die soon, man. Are you being for real? Now I feel bad for laughing. Yeah, me too, man. Hey, we should let him. That'll get us, that'll get us good karma points, you know? Heaven, bro. Yeah. That'll get us into heaven for sure. Okay, no problem. Then I imagine Tom Morello's people probably did the same sick kid Jedi mind trick on him. Yeah, perhaps cystic fibrosis and the whole possibly dying young thing. Okay, I really don't know if that's how that went or not, but the whole sick guy with a terminal condition thing, like, get you into cool stuff. It's just what happened. So anyways, we went to Comic-Con. We came back to the hotel because Comic-Con goes all day. We ended up there early. Our bus got caught in traffic and it was almost 2 o'clock and we had to be there. So I had to get out of the bus and run as fast as I could all the way to the convention center. And with these lungs, that's just not how any of this works. But I made it happen because Tom Morello, damn it. So we get there at the start of when he unveils the name of his comic and he starts talking to a little bit of the press. One of the guys from Nerdist comes, he introduces himself, and he sits me down and he's like, so do you have any questions prepared? And I was like, no, I just learned I was doing this today. And so we kind of laughed about it and he gave me like a really quick like rundown of his new comic. And then, you know, obviously what not to say, you know, don't curse, any of that stuff. But then he was just like, do your thing, dude. Hey, Tom, come on. So I'm sitting there just like, I don't even know what's happening. Boom, Tom Morello is standing right there in front of me. Now, I will always pride myself on being able to keep my shit together whenever I meet somebody. Inside, I'm fangirling. I'm shrieking, I'm crying, I'm going through all the emotions. But outside, cool as a cucumber. Okay, probably not. Like, Tom Morello probably has the memory of this day and he's like, oh god, that really weird pale guy who wouldn't stop shaking while he was talking to me. It went off without a hitch. Tom Morello is one of the nicest human beings on the planet. And I'm not just saying that because I'm a fan or anything. Like, it would probably get me more clicks if I met Tom Morello and was like, oh, he's such an asshole. But no, he's literally like so chill, one of the nicest, most humble dudes. We talked about his comic, we talked about Rage, Audio Slave, and then we talked a lot off the books. Like after the audio cut and the interview was over, we still we talked for a while. He actually like his person kept coming in and being like, Tom, we gotta get to the next person. And he kept like waving them off. Talking to him about music, you know, told him that, I play a little bit. Told him the whole thing about having CF and, you know, how I couldn't play in bands anymore because the smoking thing. And he actually knew somebody with cystic fibrosis growing up who unfortunately passed away. And he was actually really knowledgeable on cystic fibrosis. And that like blew me away, like just in that, like, this dude who I've watched, you know, Rage Against the Machine, Audio Slave, I've practiced making my guitar go wheelie, 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 like he does all the time. And here this guy is, and he knows about my condition. He kept talking and everything, and his person kept popping in, being like, Tom, let's do this. You know, talking to him ain't gonna make him die any slower. Come on, chop chop. I really hope y'all appreciate my morbid sense of humor when it comes to my condition, because I like it. We got a photo together. Nerdist News used to have the article online, but it's no longer there. They took it off, so Nerdist, you tried to bury me. tried to erase that I did an interview for you guys, but this picture right here is evidence forever. I really don't know. They probably switched servers and it got lost or whatever, or I would link you to it. If someone can find it from Nerdist News, like somehow you can archive back, like that's too far past my capabilities, but feel free to search for it. Just Nerdist News, cystic fibrosis, Morgan, however you want to do that. Shook hands, snap photos, and then Tom was like, hey, give your address to, you know, to my agent or whatever, and I'll get you, you know, the comics sent out to you. And I was like, oh, awesome, man. So before we left, you know, I gave him my address and everything, walked, and we enjoyed the rest of Comic-Con. It was an amazing trip. I met a lot of rad people. It was one of the best experiences of my whole life. Little did I know, it wasn't over yet. So I don't know how long after this was. Like, it was at least like a month or two. Enough to where I wasn't thinking anything about it. FedEx driver shows up one day with this huge package, and my brother's like, dude, you got this giant box. I had no idea where it was from. I didn't know the address that it came from. I was like, I really had no clue, because this box was like monster. And I opened the box, and there's all these peanuts and foam and stuff in it, and I rip it off, and I rip it, and I'm looking, and I start pulling this thing out. I keep pulling, and I keep pulling, and then, next thing I know, this comes out of the box. I'm still totally confused. I have no clue what's going on. This piece of paper fell out as well. Hey Morgan, great to meet you at Comic-Con. Hope you enjoy rocking this bad boy. Take care, man. Tom Morello. At this point, I'm just shaking. So I go down, I start unlocking it one by one. Blam, blam, blam. And then I open the lid, and out comes this beauty. I don't know how well the light will pick up this sparkle on this guitar, like the finish, but it is so beautiful. Epiphone Les Paul standard. Oh man, it is absolutely amazing. So I'm looking down at this thing, literally like sobbing, like ugly girl sobbing. And you know, I'm looking at it, and you know, I'm playing with it, turning the knobs, and then I turn the guitar around. To Morgan, have courage and rock out. Tom Morello. And the sobbing continued after that, because we had talked about CF and everything, and at the time I didn't have a guitar because, you know, I hadn't been playing that much, and the guitar I was using had broke, so I didn't have one. But very, like, we were just talking back and forth, and it was casual. I was like, yeah man, you know, I don't have one, and we just like kept talking. I didn't even like think. And man, I mean, it plays amazing. I'm in the process of setting it back up because I want to get back into recording music again. Making all the tasty jams for you guys. Making some intro tunes of my own to the channel. I can't do as many beeps and boops as my intro has now though. But it sat for a while with bad strings, and the neck got a little out of whack, so I'm setting it back up now and getting it back to being 100%. But I mean, this thing is just absolutely amazing. I thanked him on Instagram, and he actually replied to me, which just goes to show how friggin' awesome he is. Yet again, they actually replied and remembered who I was. I haven't picked up a guitar in probably like a year, so I'm just gonna like... Something short and simple that you can't really mess up. You can't really screw up that old pentatonic scale. Although it's out of tune, but it, you know, it's whatever. Although there's one thing I'll never forget how to play. I hate when people do that. Yeah, I can't wait to get back, getting my chops back up, and hopefully I can get some gear so I can start recording. But yeah, this is like the coolest thing ever. Like, I just put this back on because I don't even keep this on the guitar, because when I play it I don't want to like smudge that off, because this thing is like holy grail for me. Like, with all the stuff that I own, materialistic possessions, if the house was burning I would grab this first. Like, even when I'm not playing this thing, just the fact that someone that, you know, I have admired his playing, you know, his activism, just everything about Rage Against the Machine, and the message they sent, and just what he did with the guitar. Like, I have loved it forever, because I was a fan of the shreddy stuff, but I never liked traditional shreddy stuff. And I love how, you know, Tom Morello can shred, but he like just makes these amazing soundscapes with the guitar, and that's I mean, I've always loved his playing. This dude probably spent like a max of 20 minutes tops with the interview and everything with me, and the fact that he sent one of these out, you know, I don't know if this is one of his personal guitars, but it obviously been on the road with him or somebody, if it was always in this case, because this case still had tour tape all over it. I can't quite make out what it says. Like it says, I don't know if you can see like the letters that are on the back here, but it had tape, so it made a mark for a while. And I know it says throw, so T-H-R-O, and then it's L-N-U, and then a C-O. That's really when the letters get all just smudged and gone, and I can't tell what else it says. It says something on the front too, but that's even more kind of faded. So I don't know if this was, he bought this, someone gave it to him, it was on the road with him or what, but this guitar in this case definitely has a story, and that was another one of the coolest things. You could just tell this thing has kind of been worn by someone. You know, there's a little drilled hole right here by the neck. I'm not sure what that is. A lot of personality to it. And I did a search after I got it, and apparently this paint scheme isn't very common. I found some of them, but I don't know how really rare they are. I didn't do like deep digging, but that doesn't really matter to me because it's like the sentimental value on this thing. He could have sent me Squier beginner, like $99 guitar, not even the full size, like the child size guitar, and put the same message with it and it would still be the same. The house would be burning down, I'd be like, shit, fire, gotta get the Squier. But yeah, he came to Charlotte recently and played an acoustic show and I didn't get to go, and I've always hoped that I could catch a show of his and get to actually thank him in person other than just on the internet. Maybe one day though. That was my story about how I got this guitar from Tom Morello. Definitely one of the coolest stories and the coolest experiences of my life. If you enjoyed this story, please be sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell so you don't miss any notifications and videos moving forward. And as always, thank you guys for checking the video. Hope you've enjoyed the story, and I'll be getting more content out to you based on what you guys sent back to me, based on your feedback. But yet again, thanks so much for coming and checking out the video. I love all of you guys. I'll see you next time. Morgan, out.